Namaste, Bitya. Khushro. I'm JV Dr. Sapna ghelot, political science from Faculty of Education Methodology. In your last meeting, you have seen that we have discussed about the elements of national power, and then you say about how many kinds of these elements, and after this, you say what are the natural elements. You have seen what is geography and all this. Now we're going to discuss about and the next one, after you have seen industrial capacity and agriculture capacity, now come to the military strength. So when it comes to military strength, scientific and technological development is a sustaining factor of the armed forces, without which the military strength cannot be dependable and self-reliant. Indigenous capacity to produce different kinds of modern and sophisticated weapons is necessary. Otherwise, the nation cannot sustain prolonged warfare. Consequently, notwithstanding their technological backwardness, many countries have acquired military strength by buying weapons from the advanced countries, which was contributed to their military might. In the beginning, most of the states increased their strength in this way and later on build up their technological capability for defense production and forces. Military strength is relevant both in war and peace. No one can win or war without a strong military base. In peacetime also, diplomacy is significantly affected by the leverages that rebels wield owing to their respective military might. Military strength involves two main things: armed forces and weapons. To analyze their role in national power, one has to take into consideration their size and quantity, their quality and technological sophistication, their mobility and development, their leadership and morale. The size and number of armed forces are of great importance. Even the age of space battles and the push buttons warfare has not undermined the general importance of number. Therefore, a country with a large size of defenses forces will be relatively in a better position. Equally important is the weapon and equipment supplied to them. A state with a small armed force but armed with the sophisticated weapons and quality equipment can easily defeat another state which has a much larger armed force using old weapons. Thus, the quality of the army and the armed ammunition is also very crucial along with their quantity. The quality of forces depend on the nature of the training, the physical endurance, and the moral of troops. Next is the question of mobility and development. It stands for the ability of a state to deploy its armed might in the locations inside and outside its territory. The chief indicators of mobility is a state ability to transport and effectively support military operations on land, sea, and air. Military leadership can play a great role in actual military operations during the war. By their skill, military commanders can jolt a superior enemy and turn the defeat from victory. Moral of forces, that is, their willingness to sacrifice for nation, is no less a factor in contributing military strength. The military license and bases also contribute important aspect to the military element. A state with a number of such alliances and bases is potentially stronger. Lastly, military component of national power is dependent upon the financial resources of nation as well as technological, industrial, and economic development. Now, come to political development. Political element consists of type of government, bureaucracy, efficiency, political leadership, and quality of diplomacy. All these are important parts of the political system of a state and contribute towards its power. These are discussed as follow. Types of government. State formulate and conducts their foreign policy towards their government. If a government foreign policy is unified, specific representative of the popular will, stable, and at the same time flexible, it can do wonders for the nation and its power position. Government also regulates social discipline, which is based on the coordination of all efforts in this community. Good rapport between the government and the people bring greater allegiance of people towards the country. Such an allegiance is a prime factor in the development of national power. It is not easy to say which type of government is the most powerful. The issue of leadership between type of government and national power has not been resolved. Since Aristotle time, there are various forms of government in the present world, such as a communist, democratic, authoritarian. Past international relations prove that both democratic and authoritarian types of government have been successful in regulating behavior of other states, and therefore, to the extent both of them have been powerful nations. Authoritarian regimes can make swift and flexible foreign policy decision as a decision making as a few are relatively accountable. But we should think whether quick decision by uncountable decision makers are necessarily vice versa. The features of check, the feature you can say, right meant yes. Hmm. Hmm. The features of checks and balance of democratic governments subject decision to greater scrutiny and presumably you can guard against whimsical and hasty decision. The yardstick to measure superiority of a type of government can be efficiency to achieve set national goals and ability of mobilize people's support. Democratic and constitutional government is based on consensus of fundamentals. It is likely to operate with a sustained popular support. In this way, it will be in a better position to impose greater discipline and persuade people to make sacrifice for achieving national objectives and national growth. Bureaucratic efficiency. If the bureaucracy is impartial, honest, clean, and effective, it will be generate more power for a nation. Corruption and inefficiency will always cost a nation which much both peace and war. In peace, it will you can say it will still development and progress. In war, it will set that the not all combines efforts and prepare the ground for eventual capitulation. Rich, well-armed, and even wisely governed countries cannot work effectively unless they have efficient bureaucracy with which to execute their policies. There are four view regarding the proper role, method of operation, and adequate functioning of machinery, and then the functioning of bureaucracies. First, communist state believe in large-scale of the bureaucratization, not only in a political but also in economic and social sectors. But by now, it has been realized that over bureaucratization in communist countries has proved as a counterproductive. Second, democratic competitive country seeks to encourage private initiative and limit the role of a government bureaucracies to defense, taxation, and other regulatory functions. Third, there are those who argue for the complete detachment of politics from professional bureaucracies. Further, few people are interested to have political control over the bureaucracies, plug leaks, and ensure that political decisions are carried out faithfully by the professional bureaucrats. Each of these theories has its own advantages and disadvantages. We do not intend discussing from here, but it can be realized that to assess the exact impact of a given bureaucratic theory upon the power of a state is an uphill task. Now there is a leadership. Leadership is a great significance to any analysis of national power because it is leadership that utilizes the national resources to build up power. Moral of the people also revolves around leadership. There can be no integrated technologies and leadership. It is important for many reasons. First, leadership utilizes the other component of national power like geography, resource, population, capacity, technology, etc. But this it does not with the qualities that it possesses. Second, it coordinates other elements of national power. Third, it allocates resources between military and civilian programs. Fourth, it decides the nature of relation with other states and declares war and peace. Decision and actions of leaders have a direct bearing on the power of the state. Columbus and the world directly reserve. Undoubtedly, greatness or incompetence, wisdom or rationality, effectiveness or importance, leadership considerably affect the power that a country has. Leaders such as Napoleon, Hitler, Churchill, Roosevelt, Stalin, Mao, Gandhi, Kennedy, Khrushchev, Nixon have made a deep impact on world history. And able leadership serves as a source of great inspiration to a people. Such an inspiration is crucial both in realization of national development program and in the assumption of initiative in the foreign affairs. ठीक है सही है ना? Okay बस. Thank you.